Master, wardens, my lord, aldermen, liverymen, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's actually very refreshing to have an evening like this where we don't have the usual announcements about turning off mobile telephones. Not a single word. I am reminded of an event I went to not long ago, which was with Prince Charles, and he was being introduced by Michael Grade. And Michael did the announcement, turn your phones off. Prince Charles is about to speak. Prince Charles came on. He started speaking, and he was about 3 minutes into his speech, and a mobile phone went off. And everyone looked around. And just over here, standing on the end of the platform, was Michael Grade, who went, and you could hear what he was saying. He was saying, yes, yeah, okay, fine. Yes, right, I'll do that. Prince Charles, in the meantime, was standing, looking. I don't do a very good impersonation, but something like that. And Michael Grade put his phone down and said, your mother said to give her a call when you finished. When Jonathan invited me to say a few words this evening, he asked me to say something about the importance of design. Over the next few minutes, I'll try to answer his brief, but let me start with a little context. I wonder if you saw at the beginning of the year Monocle magazine's annual Soft Power survey. It ranks nations, it's like a league table, according to their culture, politics, business, diplomacy, and education, rather than their financial or military power. It draws on the US academic's Joseph Nye's notion of applying power by persuasion and attraction rather than coercion or force. Well, guess what? We won. The UK came out top of the world after a fantastic year of international success for its designers, architects, filmmakers, musicians, actors, and athletes, and of course, a spectacular, highly creative Olympic Games, which was seen and loved by billions of people around the world on television and on digital media. So at the moment, the UK is the most powerful nation in the world in terms of cultural influence. Or to put it another way, because of its creativity. Now, as Jonathan said, I'm a UK business ambassador, and I promote the UK's creative industries around the world to help get business and drive growth through our country. I'm also chairman of the London Design Festival, which I started in 2003. Since then, 100 cities have visited the London Design Festival with delegations, gone home, and started their own version of our festival. That's 100 in 10 years. Why? Well, nations and cities around the world are increasingly turning to creativity and design to achieve growth and success. This extraordinary development of design festivals is a reflection of how important design is seen internationally. Because in today's global economy, where capital and labour are so mobile, where goods and services can be produced almost anywhere, it is the power of ideas and innovation, of creativity and design adding value, that will bring growth, economic success, and prosperity. The world's creative industries make up around 7% of global GDP, and they're rightly being recognised as crucial to economic success as well as to the vitality of society. The UK's creative economy is one of its great national strengths, accounting for around a tenth of the whole economy. It provides jobs for 2.5 million people, more than in financial services, advanced manufacturing, or construction. Now, design is the engine room of the UK's creative industries, at the heart of its success. You might say, well, he would say that, wouldn't he? But don't take my word for it. Here are quotations from two chancellors of the Exchequer, both called George. You can try guessing which is which. I did say to Jonathan there was a little quiz night activity tonight. Now, I could make it easier by doing one of these in a Scottish accent, but I'm not very good at that. So here goes. Here's the first one. Design is not incidental to modern economics, but integral. Not part of success, but the heart of success. Not a sideshow, but the centerpiece. That's number one. Number two. So, this is our plan for growth. We want the words invented in Britain, made in Britain, created in Britain, designed in Britain to drive our nation forward. Actually, it doesn't really matter who said what, because they're both talking about the importance of design to success, growth, and the economy. And there'll be another quotation quiz night later at the end of my speech. Does anyone know who said which? I'll tell you later. How will we compete in world markets? On price? Well, only one can be cheapest, and it won't usually be us. By putting more people on the job? Well, our population is 64 million. China is 1.4 billion. Or will we compete and win by creating and producing things which are special and different through design? Everything man-made is subject to a series of choices and decisions, which is how you could describe the design process. As in all things, you can do this well, badly, or indifferently, with corresponding end results. Your chance of a good or even great end result increases with the quality and skill of the designer, but you also need to be able to recognize good design when you see it. So what is good design? 2,000 years ago, the Roman architect Vitruvius suggested three essential elements for a well-designed building: utilitas, firmitas, and venustas. I'm sure your Latin's better than mine, but today I think we would loosely translate that to say that a well-designed building product, or anything else for that matter, should be functional, well-made, and should delight its user. I like this definition, but the fact is that when you ask people to define good design, they come up with a huge variety of answers. When I was chairman of the Design Council in the 90s, I got fed up with people asking me, what is the definition of good design? So I produced a little book, which is called Definitions of Design, an imaginative title. I'm working on a new version now, and you're very welcome to send me your definitions. To give you some help, some clues, I'll end with 6 examples from the book I did in 1995. They're from an MP, a trade union leader, a designer, the leader of the opposition at the time, an architect, and a 10-year-old girl. I've jumbled up the order, so you can guess, if you like, who gave which definition. Here's the first one. Design is 98% common sense and 2% that magic ingredient, sometimes called aesthetics and sometimes style. That was the designer, Terence Conran. Number 2, design is the difference between doing it and doing it right. I really like this one. That was the MP, Mark Fisher, who was the chair of the All-Party Group at the time. Number 3, design is like the Arab term al-sirat, a bridge to heaven. Unfortunately, this bridge is only the width of the edge of the sword. That was the architect, Will Alsop. Number 4, design is the creative force by which we realize our hopes for a better environment. That was the trade unionist. A man called Jimmy Knapp at the time was the General Secretary of the RMT. Now this, if you've been counting, only leaves 2 definitions. One, if you can remember, that means one must be the leader of the opposition in 1995 and the other a 10-year-old girl. Now this is really tricky. So You're going to have to concentrate, and I'm not going to tell you which is which. The first one reads, good design is not simply about aesthetics or making a product easier to use. It is a central part of the business process, adding value to products and creating new markets. Just wait, because you never know what the second one will bring. The second one, with art, if you like, you can be really weird. But in design, you have to think about what other people will like. I think that's beautiful. So I'd like to finish just by saying congratulations again on your Royal Charter and on your golden anniversary. I feel very fortunate to be part of your celebrations, and I also count myself fortunate to be part of the world's leading creative community in the design capital of the world. Thank you.